Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Cardano. We're also going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We know the entire market follows Bitcoin. Is there more pain to come, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to cover that in this video, and I do not believe that we are out of the woods yet. We are not on the home straight, the road to recovery just yet. I can't help but feel like there may be a little bit more pain to come. We know the markets continue to sell off today. We had the big sell-off on Wednesday, and we're continuing to sell off yesterday. It looked like we were perhaps going to have a relief rally. However, that did not come to fruition. Now, when we take a look at Cardano, guys, and we look at it on a 4-hourly time frame, you can see, and we talk about these EMAs, how you're just, certainly the 20 EMA on the 4-hourly, the weekly and the daily, you can see that on the 4-hourly, if you get trapped below it, guys, and you fail to break through it with momentum, it's kind of an indication of what direction you're going to go in. And ultimately, unless we can pop above this EMA, guys, in my opinion, you are trapped and you are in for some more bearish continuation. So what I'm really watching for on the daily, the 4-hourly, is a pop-up above this EMA for us to continue this bull run. Now, one thing I do want to say is, and I'm sure you're all watching it, is Cardano's strength in comparison with the rest of the market. The rest of the market, when it sells off in it, as it kind of has done, Cardano doesn't tend to sell off as much. And this is ultimately due to the fact that a large part of Cardano is staked. 72% of all Cardano is staked. That will probably be less now. This is an older article, but that is really a kind of confirming factor of just how strong this project is and how much belief there is in it. And one thing that I make sure to say to you on every single video is, understand what you're investing in. It's time like these where you really need to have a good understanding of the project that you are a part of. That's what keeps me in this project despite the sell-off that we've seen, because ultimately I understand the true value of Cardano is massive. The short-term price really is irrelevant. Yes, nobody likes to see these sell-offs, and ultimately this is a sell-off that's really caused by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still that driver in the market. Nearly 2 weeks ago now, we said, look, on one of our Cardano updates, we said we've got a one big problem, and we had drawn these two rising wedges that we kind of theorized we were going to pop to the downside out of and then have a sell-off. We did not expect a sell-off of this kind of magnitude. However, when we've kind of took back and done a post-mortem on Bitcoin, one thing that is super apparent to me, guys, and we're going to show you why perhaps in an emerging market this kind of a sell-off is actually normal and part of it. But one thing that is really apparent to me is that this sell-off in Bitcoin is largely caused by the insiders, the institutions, the people with big money that have a vested interest in making sure that people like me and you, the retail guys, do not make money. That's part of them maximizing their profits, is taking money from people like me and you. That's why this sell-off hasn't shaken me out. We've spoken prior about the Wyckoff distribution. Wyckoff theory came around basically because Robert Wyckoff was essentially sick and tired of institutions milking the retail guy. And you can see that absolutely taking place in Bitcoin. We did an earlier video where we essentially looked at two different emerging markets. You have the cryptocurrency market, which is the emerging market we are currently in. And then, of course, you have Amazon back, and this is back in the .com sort of boom. And you can see really that the exact same thing happened with Amazon. You can see a sort of Wyckoffian structure forming here for Amazon. This then essentially led to a 63% sell-off, but largely the overall .com market, the stocks involved in that, sold off. This was after the kind of big bust. We know that we had the boom and bust cycle in Amazon, the same way that BTC had it. And ultimately, guys, I do think you have the same actors at play today that you had back then. And they are the composite man that Wyckoff spoke about. They are the big institutions that have a vested interest in shaking you out, because ultimately they know, and it's real confirmation that this technology is valuable. They know the value in this, and like I say, they have a vested interest in making sure as little people as possible make money off this, and they're very greedy. They take all the money for themselves. So what do we think's next? Well, like I say, that's all largely dependent on Bitcoin. Certainly, we don't think we're seeing anything new in an emerging market, which the cryptocurrency space is. If we look, we did look at Amazon. We did a longer video earlier. I'm just briefly skimming over it for those of you who only watch the Cardano videos. Ultimately, what happens with Cardano now is largely dependent on Bitcoin. I do think, in a similar way to how Amazon had its relief rally after its 70% sell-off, its kind of V-shaped relief, I do think a similar thing is going to play out for Bitcoin. But how low Bitcoin goes is really anybody's guess. It depends how many people they feel that they can indeed shake out. And we did speak about the fact that in Bitcoin, really the reason the sell-off was so amplified was because a large number of people got liquidated at 38k, and then that kind of triggered a further sell-off down to about 30k. That was really all liquidation. So if you take that out of things, the sell-off wasn't really to any kind of magnitude that was unheard of. And ultimately, you know, Cardano's never been so strong. We know what's going on in Africa. We know what's going on in the likes of Ethiopia, Tanzania. We know how many people are sort of staking it and believe in the project. We have Alonzo coming out, or the testnet coming out at the end of the month, which is going to lead to the mainnet, which is essentially going to lead to Cardano being smart contract compatible. I'm just stating all these things really so that I can perhaps confirm your beliefs in this project, because ultimately this, yes, it's not nice. Nobody enjoys watching their portfolio sell off. However, I know it's going to go back up. I believe that genuinely. I'm not just coming on here and saying that. And the reason that I believe that is because I believe in blockchain technology. You guys know the story of me getting into the crypto space back in 2017. Ultimately, the entire space sold off by like 95%. That left me looking around for a reason to stick around, and essentially what I stumbled upon was the actual philosophy behind blockchain, the ideas of it, and what it was really all about. And that's why I'm still here to this day, guys. Not because of the price necessarily. Yes, it's great to make money, but ultimately I'm here because I have a belief that this technology is extremely revolutionary and beneficial to the world, and as a result of that, in terms of price, is going to appreciate. And the fact that we are seeing Wyckoff structure in Bitcoin right now, and you know, this essentially has caused the rest of the market sell-off. They know that the people who are essentially in charge, this definitely is not retail doing this. It's 100% not. Yes, it's somewhat fueled with it. This was not down to somebody like Elon Musk. People give him way too much credit for this. This was down to the people in, you know, the people that have the money, the people that have a vested interest in keeping that money and making sure that you don't have so. And honestly, you know, I know there were a lot of people that would have sold in fear. But that's why we've come on here to essentially say that, look, we're not selling. We believe in the project. In fact, I've actually set lower buy orders at this point because just in case this thing does decide to roll over, Cardano does decide to roll over, then, you know, we will be picking up some discounted Cardano in the kind of pretense that the future is very bright for the crypto space. I genuinely believe that, guys. And ultimately, like I say, right now, we're just waiting to see what Bitcoin does. The entire space has sold off pretty significantly, but we have sort of seen a sell-off like this previously. Yes, there was a kind of bigger narrative attached to it, and that was back in March 2020. And if you look, guys, if you look at where these kind of candle bodies close, you essentially could be seeing a similar thing forming today. If you look at where your candle bodies kind of close, we could be seeing a very similar thing, and we could see this kind of a recovery, the same sort of recovery that Amazon had after a significant crash. We could now be seeing that for Bitcoin. This is what we want to see. We want to see this kind of V-shaped recovery so that we can get back on with this bull run. And ultimately, I do believe that is the case. Do I think the bull run is over? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. Could I be wrong? You bet I could be wrong, guys. You know, I've been wrong many times in my life. This could be another one of them. However, it's a bet that I am personally taking, and I genuinely believe in blockchain technology. You know, there's no... that I'm not just saying that for you guys on the other end of the screen. You know, to me, if you look at what's being achieved here with this technology, it makes absolute sense that it's going to go up in terms of value. Lots of creators of projects don't like the fact that people attach a value to it, but ultimately the majority of people in the crypto space are here to make money. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's what got me into the space. I learned the hard way that might not be the right reasons. But the people who ultimately hold through this are, you know, in my opinion, going to do exceptionally well. And a project like Cardano, guys, with the strength of it that we're seeing today, with the revolutionary aspect of what it's doing for the world and how it's, you know, it's making real breakthroughs in terms of things that haven't been done before. You can't help but, you know, have faith in this project, or at least I can't. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. I know this is a scary kind of time period, but ultimately, you know, my belief is that in weeks down the line, months perhaps, depending on how long we decide to capitulate and how low we decide to go, this is just going to be another one of those moments that's remembered in a similar way to March 2020. You know, one of the catastrophic moments that any emerging market, like the sort of stocks in the dot-com boom in that kind of whole emerging market, have. That is all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you. Remember what you're investing on. That is the key message, investing in. That is the key message that I want to share with you all today, because ultimately that's what's allowed me to stay relatively steady. Don't get me wrong, I've been somewhat sweaty over the past couple of days, but that's part and parcel, guys. You know, you just don't know what is coming, and ultimately you are now a part of one of the most volatile asset classes that there is. Welcome to the crypto space for those of you who are new to it. And you know, I can't financially advise you, but I'm not going to get shaken out by this. What you choose to do with your money is your own decision. But I think the fact that you are trying to get shaken out really shows a real value in what you were in, because people have a vested interest in making sure that you're not in it. That's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I look forward to seeing you all, hopefully, in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.